Hello, welcome. I'm Hannah, and welcome to part two of my single eyeshadow declutter. I posted another one of these a couple days ago. I will have that link down below. We're just going to pick right back up where we left off because the video was a little bit too long to fit all in one. Let's just get right into it. And then in here, okay, this started out as a greens palette, and then I just stuck some stuff in here. Who are you? Veil Nebula. Okay, I like Veil Nebula. This might have been the remnants of the shadows that actually made it into my Glamlight Chucky palette. I know this one is the Depotted Cindy Grace that I've been looking for so I could put back in the palette, so I'm going to put that to the side so I can do that. And then the greens in here. Yeah, I feel like I need to give the greens their own separate moment, because looking at these, I know individually they're all so pretty. So I'm not going to touch them, but I might in the future. And then I have these two palettes left. I feel like we're getting through these much quicker than I thought I would. These palettes are more annoying to have just because they're so much more tucked away. And I know when I reorganized, I did put some shadows in them that I knew I liked less. So let's give them a look. This ColourPop matte in Lay Low, it like looks kind of old to my eye. I think this one is kind of old. I tend to like the ColourPop mattes that I have in my collection. They're very pigmented, very creamy. This one didn't swatch that well, and I'm going to take that as a sign that it's getting old. It probably is like 6 or 7 years old at this point, so I'm going to declutter that. There's some shimmers in here, though, that I'm like, these are being wasted being in here. Mercury from Terra Moons. This shadow. Oof, I love this. It's so pretty, so shifty. I want to wear this more. That makes me just like not want to have these palettes, but I think I need to at this point. And these are more in that teal family that I was mentioning with the Give Me Glow one that I don't know what to do about them. I have Red Chameleon from Sydney Grace. This is Perseus from Terra Moon. This was part of the Urban Outfitters quad. And this is Rockbiter from Pretties for Your Face. I kind of feel like I could just keep the Terra Moons one. Like, they're all the same vibe, and I never reach for them. And I just think this one looks the most sparkly, so I think I am just going to keep the Terra Moons one. Okay, I'm really happy that I swatched these. Cool. Okay, and then up here, this is a Menagerie Snowball shadow. You know, it's pretty, but I know I have Luxie ones that do the same exact thing as that, and I'm going to declutter this. Yeah, even this. Snow Cone from Luxie. This one might be a little bit shiftier. Yeah, this one comes up a little bit more mint. So maybe it's not the best example, but like Electric Lemonade, I know is very similar to that. Next to You and Jelly from Luxie. Next to You and Jelly. Those are quite different. I'm gonna keep them. Yeah, and these other purples I feel good about keeping. Over on this side, some more neutrals. This one is from the Adept Minka palette, and I'm going to take it out so I can stick it back in there. These browns I'm going to keep for now. This one looks older. This is the Monarch from Luxie. I think it's pretty, though. Yeah. It's like more of a sheer pinkish bronze than other bronzes that I have. I'm going to keep it. Scarecrow from Luxie, from the Halloween collection. I'm going to declutter this one. This one's pretty boring to me. This one from Shine by SD, Second Love. I never reach for this. I know I had a similar one that I decluttered last time I did a big declutter, but I still don't reach for this, even like knowing which one it is. I'm gonna declutter it. Okay, and that's the end of this. On to the final palette that I have. Okay, a little bit more packed in here. And because this is so packed, I am just going to reopen the last palette so I can add some in as I decide I'm keeping them, so I can narrow this down a little bit more and not just be overwhelmed. So let's get some out of here. Terra Moon's Venus. Obsessed with this. It's in the same family as that Mercury one, and so absolutely pretty. This matte from Glaminatrix in the shade Petal, keeping that. This black-based multi-chrome from Cleona Oculus, part of my first order from them ever. Gonna keep that for now. I have a hot pink matte from Luxie that's pretty new. This is Cherry Blossom. I really like Luxie's matte formula. And a couple other mats. I'm going to keep this one, Dive from Menagerie, and Breaching from Menagerie, and Complicated from Luxie. I love those blues. These neons from Terra Moons I like. This is Land on the Stars and Fourth Dimension. There's another multi-chrome from Luxie in here. This is Euphoria. This was my favorite of the ones because it was the least deep, and I'm going to keep that also. Oh, and I'm seeing some more of the Luxie multi-chromes. These three. I'm not sure if I was just filming, but I had a couple others that I added into here, like Big Bang from Terra Moons, Sweetie Sunbeam from Divina, which I feel like I haven't seen in years, and I'm so excited to use it, Gleam from Glaminatrix, and Hell of the Moon from Luxie. And we're moving on to the ones that could go either way, and I want to swatch them out. Okay, let's see about these oranges. This is from Tarte. The formula feels really nice. Yeah, I want to keep that. This is Luxie Mesa, a much brighter orange. Even though it does look kind of dingy on camera, but it's very bright in person. A ColourPop one in the shade Cannonball. I've had this for so long, and it's not swatching that well. I think it might be old. I'm going to declutter it. I'm happy anyway to get rid of one of those orange mattes because it's not like I need that many variations of orange mattes anyway. Menagerie Wisteria, that one is staying. This Menagerie Cub, it's a weird shadow. I think I'm going to declutter this. I'm just trying to imagine it in use. And I think it's a little bit too chalky and pigmented to wear on my transition. And I feel like it's too light to want to do other things with. So I'm going to declutter that. I have this other yellow, Take Flight from ColourPop, which is very old. You know, it's not swatching the best, but it kind of bothers me less in this one. I'm going to keep that. This Depotted Bronze from ColourPop. You know, it's pretty enough to have survived up until now, but I never wear it, and other shadows I see, like Sweetie Sunbeam, I'm like, I want to wear that tomorrow. This, I have no idea when I would wear it, so I'm going to declutter that. Some other mattes. We have a ColourPop. ColourPop. This one, I just feel like the feel of them, sometimes I can just tell it's off. Centerfold. I'm going to declutter that. I Owe You. This one's very orangey. I could declutter this. Yeah, I don't feel like I want that. I'm trying to be harsher with these also because I'm just remembering that these are folded off to the side of my collection. These are the hardest for me to access, and without even knowing what's in here, I'm never going to open this looking for eyeshadow. The less I could have in here, the better. And ideally, I'd like to get rid of enough that maybe I will even retire using these palettes. Secrets from ColourPop. Very light pink. Yeah, this is so pale. I'm gonna declutter this. Who Are You? Mermaid Scales from Glaminatrix. This is kind of, it reminds me of like the chunkiness of some of those Cleona ones, but a lot more packed down. But it's still kind of like a metallic flaky. I'm gonna declutter this. I don't like the feel of how it goes down. Something about it feels a little bit more tacky. I don't know for sure because I've just been dropping all the ones I'm decluttering in the pile of all the rest of them, but I've only kept 5 since I started swatching these, and I think I've gotten rid of more than that. Actually, I can count my hand swatches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so I've gotten rid of 6 and kept 5 since I've started swatching in here. Cool. I have 2 glitters. This is the Depotted ColourPop one. I know it has a little bit of a blue to it. I just don't want to keep this. I feel like I have like a couple pressed glitters that I like and I can think of, and I also have those Nabla palettes of pressed glitters. I don't need more sitting in this like ultimate storage. The only thing I could see this being good for are maybe these mattes that I like enough to keep, but I'm not going to reach for every day, and I might pull them out for like a build your own palette type of thing. Okay, then we have this glitter from ColourPop. This is Santeria. I think I saw some swatches that looked really special about this. I'm seeing multicolored sparkles in there. Okay, maybe I will keep it for a little bit. Looking at it, I'm like, it is pretty, it is shiny, and I know it's a little bit newer than a lot of my other ColourPop stuff. I think I did get it sometime last year when I was placing an order, and I want to give it its fair shot. This pink from Menagerie, Lily. I'm gonna keep that. I like the color. This one from Cleona, I've had a tumultuous relationship with. This is Roseline. Let's see how I feel now. I want to keep it. We'll see how I feel next time I use it, or maybe a lot of these shadows I feel like could come up in a random palette selection, and then once I'm really tasked with using it and seeing how I feel, my feelings could change. I think that's why when I decluttered my random palettes, I decluttered so many shadows. But for now, it looks pretty, and I'm going to keep it. I'm going to break out of my color tones for a second and pull out these two Menagerie ones. Last year I did a video about the Menagerie multi-chromes that came out, and I know they've even come out with more since then. They looked really pretty in the swatches. When I tried them out, they were so hard-pressed, so disappointing. I'm a former huge fan of Menagerie shadows, so I don't know if it's just their multi-chrome formula I don't like, or if they've changed formulas. They say they haven't, but I'm skeptical. This is Axolotl. I know this one looks pretty in swatches, but I hate the way it feels. I think I am going to declutter it because it is a shade that's not unique in my collection. I would rather use Unexplainable from Shine by SD instead of this. This one's the same story, and by the way, there was like 3 others and I got rid of them like right away. This one's Bolt, but I hate the formula. This color also isn't very me, but I liked it for that reason. But yeah, I don't want to keep it. This is Luxie Blood Moon. I really like their matte formula. I'm gonna keep that. This one, this is Feathered from ColourPop. I'm gonna keep that. I feel like I always need a dark brown to deepen up with. This red is from Terra Moons. It's Infrared. It's part of the Neon group. I'm gonna keep that. This is one of the $6 shimmers from Divina. This is Majesty. Yeah, it's pretty. I'm gonna keep it. It's not something I tend to reach for, but as these more metallic shadows go, it has like the formula that I like, it has a presence that I like and a brightness. I'm gonna keep it. This one from Colored Rain, this is Tigress. It's a similar formula, maybe a little bit less shiny, but I don't like the color that much. And I always want to keep it because it's kind of unique, but I'm over that now. This collection isn't to serve anyone other than me, and it doesn't make me feel happy when I look at it. If it's mixed into a color palette, it makes me like the color palette less, so I'm gonna declutter it. Okay, and then we just have the other side left. I'm gonna keep these greens. And what about these teals? This one's depotted from, is it Strobe Cosmetics? I literally never remember. That one's not swatching very great, but it is a nice color. And then this one is Tide Pool from Menagerie. You know, in the past, I felt like they were more different, but for the purposes of someone who never reaches for either, I think I do just want to keep the Menagerie one. This depotted one, it just feels kind of dinky, and I know it's very old, so I'm going to declutter it. This teal from ColourPop I like, Formation, but I do want to swatch it because of what I've noticed of other ColourPop shades, but that feels like it's still up to my standards. This Champagne from ColourPop, I've held on to for so long. Yeah, I think it's finally time for me to say goodbye to it. I don't feel impressed by it anymore, whether that's my standards changing or the formula of the shadow literally changing, but it doesn't excite me in any way. And also, I don't want to keep these little pans unless I have to. Like, for example, I have some reds I passed by before that are from the, like, cherry palette that they had, and the formula of those is so nice that I'm fine keeping those. Okay, let's just finish up these mattes before we look at these shimmers. These are a bunch of Menagerie ones. This is Snoot. That's a really pretty color. Maine, I like that less. Chase and Canis Lupus. I always really like the tone of these, but sometimes the formula is so pigmented that I feel like it works better for like a lower lash line or something. I think I do want to get rid of this lightest one because I definitely wouldn't use this on my lower lash line, but these 3 I want to keep, and these 2 I really like the tones of, and I feel like I'll make them work. And then this is Squash from Luxie. Oh yeah, that one's nice. This one's a ColourPop glitter. I'm gonna keep it. This Adept one. It comes up sometimes, and I do like it. Some nice pigment to it. From Terra Moons, we have Tiny Dancer. I don't think this is available anymore, but I really do like the blues that I have in my collection that are true blues. They don't have any green to them, and that is definitely one of those. There's also this Luxie one, Cold Hearted. It's so old. It's a little bit more of an emollient formula than a lot of their other ones, like an emollient metallic, but I like it. It's kind of like if coins were bluish silver. This Divina multichrome I want to keep to talk about with my other black-based multichromes. This is in Magnetosphere. From Colored Rain, I have Blue Magic, and I decluttered a bunch of my other Colored Rain ones, but I think I do want to keep this. I feel like a lot of my other dark blues have a black base, and this one doesn't. Terra Moon's Cosmic Dancer. I remember really liking this when I got it, and I never wear it, but I want to. It feels kind of like a lighter version of some of those ones that I swatched and decluttered before. Luxie Reagan. Yeah, this one could go. I like the tone of it, but I would rather use Divina Orion. Sydney Grace Totally Worth It. It's a pretty shade, but I just think based on the formula, it's not even like a spectacular metallic, it's just like an okay metallic. I'm gonna let it go. Luxie Fuchsia AF. Cleona Verte. And Menagerie Ink Defense. I think I do want to keep these. Okay, I did not make them easy to count by putting them in a blob like this. I'm pretty sure it's 51 shadows. It looked like a lot more when they were in a big mountain. This somehow doesn't look like that many, but I guess judging by my collection, I'm used to looking at so many at once. I'm so happy about this though. I feel like this has been long overdue, and just getting out the 51 weakest links from my collection, it's going to make navigating my collection so much easier, and it's going to help me use the shadows that I love more. I always try to remember these are perishable goods. It's not like this collection will last, you know, for the rest of my life. And if I'm using a shadow that I don't love that much instead of one that I do, I'm taking away time that I'll never get to spend with that favorite shadow. Maybe that's dramatic, but I'm trying to remember that decluttering these means I use my favorite ones more. And that's the whole point, to enjoy my makeup as much as possible. So, yeah. And that's going to be everything for today. That concludes the series. I hope this was fun to watch. I hope this was inspiring you to pull out and play with your single shadows also. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me, and there's always way more indie makeup content on the way. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.